ultimately what we help our clients do is make a conscious choice about their financial situation. Sure, we will implement specific strategies, but what we're trying to do is help them make a conscious choice. How we go about it is in the previous video, but what actually comes out of it is what we call the Sentinel process. Now, the word Sentinel actually comes from two ancient Greek words, meaning coming from SEI, which is to shift or to move, as in seismic, and anthos is a shortened version of a pretty complicated ancient Greek word, which means the weight of a burden. So to shift the weight of a burden, and as in the previous video about why we do what we do, the whole process is designed to shift the weight of the burden that often money is. So what comes out of it is we use the Sentinel process, and the Sentinel process has some phases to it. There are three phases. The first phase is the planning phase, the second phase is the implementation phase, and the third is the renewal phase, the renewal of the journey, the renewal of the life journey. In the planning phase, there are three stages. The first stage being the visioning. What are we trying to do? What are your money beliefs? What are your deep motivators, your goals and objectives? What do you want out of our relationship? We take a snapshot using our proprietary tool called Wealth Watch of your existing situation, and so we get a very clear understanding of where you are and where you've come from, where you are, and where you want to go. So that's the visioning. The second stage is the strategic pathways, and that's where we build the scenarios. We use cash flow models so we can actually see what the alternative futures look like, as well as mapping out potential catastrophe scenarios and being able to plan. So we can get very clear. So the second stage is the strategic pathways, which is the scenario planning. The third stage is where we bring it all together into an action plan. That's where we actually design the plan and we create a list of action items with responsibilities and timelines. Who's going to do what by when? That's the first phase. So that's where the planning is completed. Then we start with implementation. Now the implementation has at least 8 different categories to it, depending on what comes out of the plan. The sort of categories are exactly how we're going to invest your money. We call that the Sentinel Wealth Intelligent Investors Framework. There's a specific process around that to make sure that over the rest of your lifetime you will be a successful investor, and by that we mean you'll not only achieve your objectives, the required return, but also that you'll rank in the top 25% of all investors. So we want you to be a successful investor. You need to be a successful investor to really deliver the life that you want. Another aspect is the estate planning. Where we've got a program we call the Sentinel Wealth Legacy Aspirations Program, and again there's very specific steps to that. In a later video there's more specific detail about those steps. So the implementation phase covers each area. There's 8 of them. Cash flow management is another, risk management, debt management, etc. There's a range of different implementation tools and programs that are involved. Once the implementation is complete, we get into the renewal phase. And usually the renewal phase is a 2-year cycle comprising 4 meetings with very different agendas for each meeting. And the renewal is not only a review, but a renewal of the journey and an improvement along the way. So that's how our process works. Each of those components can actually be broken down into separate services, so that you can actually choose if you want to just try a part, or you only need one part. Then it's not difficult to actually isolate that and be very specific about that, so that each aspect has value and can be used appropriately.